Welcome to the Connected Show. My name is Ruben Torres, along with Memo.
What up, what up?
What up? Man, today I'm excited because we got a friend of ours in the house. Actor, writer, but it's probably writer first, right? I would say writer, actor, director.
What are your titles? Shoot some
host.
I would say that, yeah, writer, actor, director, rarely, but when it's available. Otherwise, I'm just a guy who sits by the phone and stares at it all day.
Yeah, me too.
You know, the arts are tough. And then host. I try to host things when I can.
And you do that very well.
Thank you.
Jordan Jacobo in the house.
I'm connected.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Cool.
We've had some interesting characters in the past, and we have a lot of prison stories, and I think yours may not be one of them, right?
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. I don't.
No prison yet, not yet.
I don't know how to fight, but I can run pretty quick.
not yet. But yeah, thanks for coming, man. I know you were talking. You just finished up shooting something.
Yeah, I just finished my first full-length feature film, which is fun, but I'm nervous about it now because it's in post-production, and it was an ordeal to do it. It took like a year and a half to even start shooting it, and then when we did, we had to stop halfway through, and then we got back to it, and then it's just every turn has been not a nightmare, but like I'm gonna tell you this: it took 9 months to make. But like it aged me beyond my years. Like it aged me 5 years. Wow. I have like grays now. I don't have to have kids because it sucked the life right out of me.
Imagine what's my excuse without my grays.
What kind of what was the stress or what was the?
So first off, I had to get the thing sold, and then I had to make changes, and then I had to put a team together. And putting a team together is great, but if you put the right team together, they're going to challenge you, and they challenged me a lot, which I appreciate. But at the time, I was like, "Come on, leave me alone." So I had that going on, and there's just a million things to put into place. We had to figure out where to shoot it. We had to get the right actors. Scheduling was a nightmare. There's a lot of false starts, but yeah. I mean, in the end, we got it done. But like, we started shooting last summer, and we got a good start. The first 3 shooting weekends went well, and then our lead actress had some medical issues, so we had to put it off for...
Pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, and then there were complications there. And honestly, I thought, you know what? That's the end of this film. My one chance to make a feature film, ya valió madre. And so I felt I was horrified. And then we got back to it, thank God. And there's always problems, rain on set, or this isn't available, or, but by the skin of our teeth, we finished it. Yeah. And now it's in post-production. My editor's editing. And he's a great editor. So I'm concerned that he's going to come at me and be like, hey, look, we don't have this, or this doesn't make sense. I don't know. I've worked with him before, but I've never worked on a film of this magnitude. This is the biggest thing I've ever done.
Give credit to this editor. What's his name? What's his name, this editor?
Michael Foster. Michael Lewis Foster. And he just finished...
Shout out to the editors behind the scenes.
Yeah, man, putting in work,
Yeah, no, and he finished his first feature as well, and it's excellent, and he's edited a lot of my stuff, and I think he's maybe the best editor in San Diego.
Hey.
Wow.
Well, the best one that's
Strong
reliable
words.
also.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that part right there.
There's a lot going on in a movie then, right? There's
a lot.
Dude, well, let's rewind it a little bit. What was your aha moment that you wanted to actually be in front of a camera or writing or just your entertainment? Like, I want to do something in entertainment. What was your aha moment for that?
I was a lonely ass kid, and my only sibling is like 7 years younger than me.
Growing up in San Ysidro?
Yeah. And so for the most part, like it was just me at home, and I didn't have I played with my G.I. Joes or whatever, but I was like, I'm bored.
Love the G.I. Joes.
They're great, but
Did you do the spin?
Yeah.
You did the leg and you made them spin.
Yeah, my G.I. Joes were B-boys. It was
My
nice.
G.I. Joes would fight my little TJ wrestling dudes. You know what I mean?
This
Nice.
guy, this one's like,
They don't move their hands.
spans.
And Santo didn't stand a chance. But but I got bored. So finally I told my dad, I go, hey, can I use the family video camera? And he was like, yeah, I guess. I was such a pain in his ass. He just wanted me
big
to.
VHS one?
Your dad had the shoulder one?
Yeah, it was a big one. It was a big one.
Oh,
and so I was surprised he let me, but I would, I'd make films with the neighbors, or I'd do stop motion stuff with my G.I. Joes. Oh. And that was fun. And I always knew I wanted to do film.
So what age was this when you were doing that?
I must have been 8, 9.
Oh, youngster.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. So from there you knew something was
honestly, it's like the only thing I've ever wanted to do.
Wow.
You know? And I'll be honest though, I gave up on it for a while. I went to college, and in college I found a job, so I went to go do that. And I kept telling myself, well, it's not feasible. How am I going to get into the entertainment industry? And so for years I didn't do anything. But I hated myself because I knew I wasn't pursuing what I wanted. And then '08 came around, and I went from doing really well at my job to not having any job at all. And I said,
Were you doing real estate?
No, I was doing marketing and advertising, which was great. But like when the market crashed, that was it.
Yeah.
And especially
Tough
for
years.
the what?
Those were tough years, 08, 09.
Really tough years.
Yeah.
And especially I worked for a marketing company that did marketing for companies across the border, right? We were based in San Diego, but like, what do they say when the U.S. gets a cold, Mexico has a fever? And that's true. Like everything shut down because we were doing stuff for all the condos that were going up between, south of the border. And then from one day to the next, everything just shut down. And I was out of a job, and I said, what am I going to do with my life? So I decided to go back to school, and the first class I took was a film class. And on day one, I said, you know what? That's it. I said, maybe I won't make it, but I would rather fail at film than succeed at anything else.
I love those words.
Thank
Going
you.
back to your first
So
love,
good.
That's what it was. And for the first time in years, I was happy because I was doing what I wanted to do, and I could live with myself, I guess.
Me and Ruben like calling our jobs a dream killer, And I think the better the job, the more your dream gets killed because it's harder to walk away. Yeah,
it's the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that's a concern because I was making decent money. But when I lost my job, suddenly I'd lost kind of everything, I wouldn't have left that job on my own. But the economy tanking, it sucked for a lot of people, but it was good for me. And so, yeah, that's what brought me into it.
What was your first school piece that you did? Like, what was that one thing that was like, okay, I'm gonna try this? Was it hosting, or was it acting, or was it?
So here's what it was. My brother was in that class with me, in my film class. And what happened was we had to do a one shot. And I was like, oh, I got this. I've been doing film all my life. And I didn't even finish my one shot. It crashed and burned. It was terrible. But my brother's one shot was amazing. I'm like, oh, I hate this kid. but I just, it prompted me to do better. And so the first film I completed was a short film called Equal Opportunity, about this guy who's choking on a chicken bone. And suddenly his whole life flashes before his eyes.
Dope.
And like, it's all been misery. But at the very end, you see that the thing that made him choke on a chicken bone is he won like the sweepstakes. So he won like $1 million. And that's like what killed him. Because like finally he got a break and he dies from it. And it was a short film, but people liked it and it did okay.
Creativity with
Thank you. So it's funny too, because the first day of film class, I took classes over at Southwestern College because at that time in '08, it had the best film program in the city, better than UCSD, better than anything.
Way.
And because we actually had film cameras and we had a great film professor. And our film professor said, look, if you're serious about film, school's okay, but you got to get into film as soon as you can. So I said, all right. So I took all the film classes I could. And then I got out of there and I went to go do it.
Did you, what were you looking for jobs in the industry, or were you just like trying to do everything independently?
I was available to do whatever, I would do lighting, sound, camera work, acting, whatever. But I decided to go to LA, and that was a false start. That was soul crushing, man.
Why?
So I was working in a lighting house, and it seemed okay, but
What's a lighting house?
It was like a company that lent out, rented lights to like to a lot
Film
of
production
studios.
companies.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say the name only because when I got there, what happened was the guy that was sending people out on referrals, he would sexually harass all the girls that worked for him, right? And if they wouldn't go out with him, he wouldn't send them out on jobs. And I was like, Jesus. And eventually somebody told on him, and the owner just said, hey, don't do that. And then things went back to the way they were. And they always say, don't go to LA until you're invited. And that's kind of the truth for me, because I was at the bottom, I was at the very bottom rung, and it was a different vibe out there. It was very backbiting. It was very, I don't know. It just seemed, it wasn't for me. So I came back to San Diego really depressed, and I'm like, what am I going to do? There's no industry out here. And then I found out that there was. So I connected with.
And sometimes you got to create your own.
Yeah. Well, and I also connected with the Film Consortium San Diego, and I met a lot of great film professionals out here. And what I liked about it was, unlike LA, it's a different vibe. Out here, everybody holds each other accountable. Everybody, if there's a bad egg, people know about it really quickly. Yeah. And it's more of a co-op because there's not that much money in the industry, but people are willing to help each other out in getting their films done. So San Diego's been great. It's a great place to, for me, it's been a great place to work on projects.
Yeah, I lived in LA for a bit too, and it was right before everything started kind of tanking. It was like early 2000s, and then of course the music industry went upside down. We used to do the DVDs back in the day, like when every artist was putting out all the DVDs and doing all that stuff.
Nice.
And then everything just kind of flipped upside down. But yeah, I mean, doing the stuff in LA is wait, hold on. What are we doing?
Sure.
You good? What happened?
It was on your. I was waiting for it to be on you so I could fix it.
Oh man, you gotta say it. You gotta say it. No, you gotta say it because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All right. Yeah, but I was living in LA too, and everything kind of turned upside down, and the whole industry, like the whole music industry, was like just dead. So they stopped selling CDs, albums, the whole thing. But the industry up there is way different than down here. I mean, San Diego's a lot more chill, a lot more laid back. But dude, LA is, it's at least, and I want to say like the Latin, like the Chicano side of things. I think they maybe help each other out a little more up in LA than they do in San Diego. Like it's a little more tight knit, community up there. But everything else, like all the other parts of LA, just really felt like plastic, So you come to San Diego and it feels good in San Diego.
Yeah, it feels more authentic, right?
Yeah. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, I think
you guys
you're
are
right.
being biased because you're both San Diegans,
Yeah.
You might be right.
Perhaps.
Maybe
You might be right.
You get more comfortable in your own area, maybe.
That's true. I mean, I have roots here. I have connections here. I grew up in San Ysidro, so.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in San Ysidro?
It was nice. It was nice for me. So my mother taught at Willow School for 42 years, and so she was pretty well known. And I mean, we went to church here. I went to school here, so it was nice. It was
Shout out to Miss Jacobo.
Yeah, Miss Jacobo. I went to Willow School as well, so I remember her.
How crazy!
I know, small world when it connects like this is so weird,
What high school did you go to?
I wanted to go to public school. My parents put me in St. Augustine, but that didn't.
Where's that at?
It's in South Park.
They were driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. Well, I carpooled with some friends, but like it was still a hike. But it didn't last. They kicked me out in the middle of junior year, and so I ended up going to public school out in Arizona. And,
Arizona.
Whoa.
yeah.
Well,
What city? What city?
Phoenix, but it was like northwest Phoenix.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying there's no good part of Phoenix, but
Was it out of punishment?
yeah. No, it's exactly what it was.
And you're 113 degrees right there cooking.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I didn't know anybody. It was a rough year and a half, but it is what it is.
It's like, what do you do with yourself out in Arizona? My daughter went to school out in Arizona for like a semester. Oof. She was like, I'm done. and she came back home.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, Phoenix has some extreme weather. I was out there for like a year in Maricopa, a little south of Phoenix, and it is hot, man. Super hot.
It's no good.
You were there just for a year, you said?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Nice.
I mean, you get used to anything, I guess. And it's funny, though, because people are like, well, it's a dry heat. Yeah, but it's still hot.
Yeah,
super
super hot, bro.
Heat's not great to live in.
And people there, like, know how to maneuver. One thing I realized, like, I'd be talking to somebody, and then they'll, like, pull you to the shade, They just have this, like, natural, like, they know how to move,
People working at night.
Yes, bro. They move
heat.
smart. They grew up in that. Yeah.
All bad.
Yeah.
I love
Is there an
San Diego's
industry out
weather.
there?
I think there is one now. When I was living out there, I didn't know, but I think there is one now. Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out because I still have some connections. My old film professor is living out there now, and he was working on a feature. So what's nice about the industry now is this: LA is no longer. I mean, it's still a hub, but it's not the only place to do it. You have Chicago, you have Albuquerque's is coming up as a huge hub, and of course Atlanta. Atlanta is like. Is Rome for Black filmmakers. That is like the spot. And so it's nice. I mean, it's as equipment becomes more accessible and more affordable and you're able to distribute on your own, you can pretty much do it from wherever you want as long as you're clever about it. And I mean, you have to work on a budget, but people are learning to do that, And things are changing anyway because, I mean, look, big budget films, honestly, I think on their way out because it's more about quantity versus quality. and there's so many streaming services and everybody wants something right now that I think that people are just kicking stuff out. And so I don't know. It's an interesting time to be in the industry. Honestly, back in 2000, had I pursued it, I think I would have just been sorely disappointed.
What are the challenges that you've faced on all aspects as a writer, as a director, as an actor, just making film in general? What are some of the challenges that you faced that have maybe like you've maybe wanted to quit, but you're like, I'm gonna keep going?
Well, there's that constant rejection because, like, as an actor, you try out for stuff all the time, and sometimes you go through dry spells. The first two things I ever auditioned for, I got, and they were big projects. Like one was an actual commercial. Oh no, they were both commercials. One was a casino commercial. Another one was like an anti-weed commercial, which is funny because I was kind of high like that morning.
Oh, bad.
It is what it is.
What was the casino? What were you playing on the casino?
It was Valley View, and I got the lead. Here's what I didn't realize though, because
you actually released that one though, right?
Yeah. And I was the lead in it, but I didn't realize that after that, if you're the lead in any casino commercial, they'll never hire you again as background in any other casino's commercial.
So one hitter quitter, that's it?
Yeah.
Why?
What's the reason?
Because you become associated with that casino, and they don't want you to be like, oh, well, isn't that guy from the Valley View casino? Which I think is dumb reasoning.
Oh, that's crazy.
It'd be different if you're like the spokesperson for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is that you right there?
Oh yeah, that's me in the Valley View casino.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you win right there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was a weird project because the director was like, I want you cranked up to 11. I'm like, Jesus. And then that commercial, they put a kazoo soundtrack to it. And the director later told me, because it was us in the casino, but it's like beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, what is this? Who does this appeal to? And I was at a mixer a month later, and I saw a director. I go, what was up with that soundtrack? And he goes, I put it in as a placeholder, and it was kind of a joke, but the casino was like, we'll take it. And so. And I'm like, well, have some pride in your work. It looks like,
dude.
I mean,
that's
let it ride.
Yeah, it's not a Circus Vargas commercial.
Who are you marketing to at that point?
That's what I'm saying,
Oh man, that's all bad.
So that was your first one.
That was my first one.
That was your first gig.
Yeah, and then anti-weed commercial where I talked to my son, and I'm like, weed, it's terrible. It's definitely not going to solve all your problems and make everything great. So don't try it.
Can we find that anywhere? Where's that at?
What was it?
What were some reasons it was bad? I'm curious.
They never had in the audition. I had to give reasons why it was bad, but I couldn't really think of anything. So I'm like, you'll get the munchies, and also you're gonna really love TV, which I guess is terrible.
You're gonna laugh a lot, and you're gonna be hungry, and you're trying to find all the negatives.
Yeah, knock jokes is suddenly gonna be brilliant. Like, I don't know what the downside is, but in it I don't speak. I just go up to this kid and I'm like, hey, do you want to talk about weed? And he's like, yeah, what's weed? I'm like, it's marijuana, blah, whatever. But they're like, talk to your kids and let them know. And the thing is, like, yeah, I agree. Kids shouldn't be smoking weed.
No, it messes with their brain. They say before, like 20-some, your brain development. It's like, ugh. Yeah. It doesn't encourage them to be a go-getter like you too, Jordan,
Yeah, I think you lose some motivation.
Yeah,
maybe,
big time.
Yeah.
They don't need help in that aspect. Today's kids are kind of lazy a little bit,
That is kind of the concern, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I want to do a pro-cocaine commercial, because today's kids really need motivation. Really, it's a get up and go.
This guy, get up and go. So, and aside from the bad acting and the weed commercial, you as a writer, I think that you were saying like that's kind of your more foremost, like that's the one thing that you like doing. You didn't even get to do a cameo in the last project.
Yeah.
So tell me about that a little bit.
So writing's been good for me because people have hired me to flesh out projects for them. And I've done some writing for short films, feature films, series, KPBS series, and then I wrote 2 short plays for the Old Globe, which was huge for me. And it's been good. I mean, I think writing, I think that's the basis of everything, because... Is
it different writing for like theater than it is for a film?
Oh, big time. Yeah, because a lot of the things that I write are comedic, but then for the theater, they want, and let's be honest, they want really depressing shit, which is okay. But I think a lot of people that are humorists, I think humor comes from a very dark place. So I think that if you're going to write something dark, a humorist or comedian is maybe the way to go.
Who are some comedians that inspired you?
I I would say, you know what? I love Paul Rubens. I thought he was a genius. And like Pee-wee's Big Adventure was my favorite movie growing
I
up.
think it was everybody's.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to admit it, I think everybody loved
Pee-wee?
Pee-wee Herman. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a genius. But when I was a kid, I was a weird kid, and I really
What'd you think of him in the movie Blow? Like
I thought he was
seeing
great.
Oh, yeah,
Seeing him as Pee Wee Herman and then seeing him in
that
Blow,
was
you're
like,
just like,
whoa.
what is this?
For me, I was like, whoa, that's him?
Yeah, suddenly he's a gay hairdresser. I'm like, all right, this works.
Yeah, he was.
Every role he ever took on was fantastic.
Yeah,
you know,
he
I think
killed
the man
it.
was a genius.
He killed it.
What about stand-up comedians? You listen to that?
Yeah, I was a weird kid. So for me, I liked Don Rickles as a kid,
Okay.
just because he was so vicious. Like he was mean. He was mean, but in the end,
in an old grandfather-ish kind of way, like
yeah, and he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Because he would always talk shit to Sinatra, and Sinatra would just laugh because he was funny.
and he'd throw out some racist stuff as well at the same time, and like you're just like, what? But back then it was a little, I guess, more accepting, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and he also did it because he did a lot of those celebrity roasts, right? And but even when he was racist there, he would do it like in front of the black people.
Yeah.
And they were cool with it because the thing is like it was all I don't think he was a hateful dude, and I think they knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't
So
think
it was like
done in that way, but yeah.
yeah. No, but I loved how bold he was because I don't know if you ever saw there's a video of Reagan's inauguration, and Don Rickles obviously knew Reagan from Hollywood. So Rickles goes up and does a set during Reagan's inauguration, and he's just shitting all over Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan is laughing his ass off. But halfway through, Don Rickles makes a joke about how like Reagan's security detail probably doesn't appreciate it. So toward the end of the set, he pretends to be shot by a sniper on stage.
Oh.
But he would just take stuff.
That is crazy. I don't think I ever heard of that.
Nah,
I have to
I
go
never.
back and-
yeah, I'm gonna peep that out.
and
Real bold stuff. I mean, imagine shitting on the president of the United States at his inauguration right in front of him. Jeez.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's some next level.
Yeah.
It
Next
is.
level roasting right there.
I love it.
Do you like the roasts?
I love the roasts. I
Who's
love
your
those.
favorite? Who's your favorite roaster?
There's a roaster named Nikki Glazer, and she's really cute, so you don't see it coming, but she's vicious.
Yeah.
She's vicious. So she's really good. Lisa Lampanelli was very good. You know, I love the roasts.
What about what's his name? Ross.
Oh, Jeffrey Ross.
Jeffrey
He's
Ross.
hilarious.
Yeah, he's dope too. He's kind of like he's invited to all of them, right? Pretty much.
He's the roast master general.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's so dope.
Yeah,
He's so dope.
he's hilarious.
So, do you do any stand up at all?
I've never done it.
Have you
I'm
dipped your
finally
toes
going
in
to do
that?
it this year, but like stand up
Are
scares
you?
the hell out of me. Yeah, because it's
You're just up there by yourself.
yeah, you get
Making
nobody.
people laugh is tough.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
They're getting the reaction out of people, and it's a scary thing. But I think it's like a beautiful thing. Like once you can master that and kind of get in there, that's so dope.
Have you practiced already?
I've written some stuff, but I haven't. I got to go up and do like. I think I'm going to go up anonymously at like open mics because look. I know I'm going to eat my balls and that's fine, but I want to do it early. I don't want to do it anonymously. So yeah,
Dude, why don't you do a little something right here?
never,
something
never.
right.
You God forbid. I'm actually very nervous.
Look, you got a
Yeah.
spot and everything.
I wish.
Yeah,
wish.
I used to love going to see like some of the big names, you know, like Seinfeld when he's been here. And I used to like George Lopez, like, you know, even just like the old school like raw stuff, like even like George Perez. He's been coming to San Diego. Eric told me.
Nice.
I used to see him up in LA, and dude, I it's just a whole other like I don't see how they can do what they do, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's
Incredible.
It's a craft that I'm just like, dude, it just takes a whole set of like nerves to be up there, and then just the quick mindset of having to like someone heckles you and then boom, hit them right back with it, and then be on your toes with like especially live, like you never know what's gonna come, and then having to kind of jab back, you know.
And be unique too. Like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
gonna be clean? Are you gonna be talking about race?
Yeah.
What are you gonna talk about that hasn't been talked about in your special way? It's definitely a
Then,
craft.
then you run into like the joke thieves and all that stuff. That it's a tough craft.
Speaking of joke thieves, so when I was in LA, I used to go up to the comedy store as often as I could.
Yeah.
And one night I'm there, and Mencia was up there, and he was trying new stuff, but like it was just him yelling at the crowd, and I'm like, fuck this, because I was so annoyed by him, because I was like,
Yeah.
this guy, what is this? It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to get yelled at. But halfway through, I went to the bathroom, and like everybody all the comedians like in the hallway were like glaring at him and talking shit about him. And I'm like, what is this? And I thought they were just upset because he was taking up spots because he wouldn't come down. But this was like
this must have been months before that whole, he was accused of, because Joe Rogan accused him of stealing jokes, and then Carlos Mencia admitted it later on the show, and that was kind of the end.
Carlos Mencia was big. I got to see him here in San Diego.
Yeah, I was there for that. So
He's big.
we had a clothing line called Jefe Clothing back in the day.
Oh, nice.
And so he was one of the like guys that like wore it and took these pictures of
You can cut what I said out.
Yeah. So we were like, sick, you know, dude's freaking. And this is when he had his show. So we're like, oh, sick. So that helped, you know, with the popularity aspect of it. And then he came to San Diego and he hooked us up all, you know, with tickets and stuff. So at the time, you know, all the POD guys were hot. So they all got invited. Then I was kind of like the outsider. So I got invited. And so all those guys showed up before me and they were like, dude, we just ran out of tickets. These guys came and took out all the and I was like, what? So I'm calling his manager and I'm like, yo, dude, me and my wife are right here in the front. And he told us to come get our tickets and we'll call. And like, they're saying there's no more tickets. Oh, don't worry, I got you. And so he came and they put us like on the side stage.
Wow.
So it was
VIP.
Dude, it was me, my wife, Rey Mysterio, Mario Lopez, and some other dude. And we were all sitting on the side stage and like we're looking out. And then I see all the homies right there sitting on the front row. But I was like, dude, yeah, dude hooked us up, man. And he was super nice, definitely not yelling, he wasn't the dude that you see on like he was crazy nice backstage. And he was just, I mean,
wow.
He had never like, I don't know, he never did us dirty. He was just trying to promote and trying to be down. He did a song with POD, some cockroach song or something.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He did a little something wild, but.
Hey, look, maybe I'm wrong about the guy. All I know is like all the other comedians.
I love this.
Yeah.
But let's be honest.
Wait,
Comedians,
so which one of you is lying? One of you?
No.
So who's the real?
I could be wrong because comedians hate other comedians. It's incredible.
Bobby Lee was talking trash about him recently, not too long ago too.
When I saw him, Bobby Lee opened up for him.
Yeah.
Really?
But Bobby Lee after that probably just he wasn't down with them. Bobby Lee was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, because Bobby Lee actually went down to, what was it, Honduras, to the village where
he was from.
Yeah, that's what he said once.
Yeah, because he's not like full Mexican. He's like
German or something, right?
Yeah, he's like Middle Eastern.
His name is Ned something.
Oh, yeah, because Joe Rogan calls his name, right?
Yeah, so it was next level.
That's funny, though.
But enough about him.
Well, be unique.
More about you.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Back to you.
I'm going to have to.
Back to you. So you just finished this film. That's in the thing, what do they call it? In the can.
Yeah, in
the can.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your shows, man. You had some stuff going on KPBS.
So I had a series on KPBS a couple of years back called Jordan Loves, and it was a digital series, and it's still there. But I chose not to do a second season because I'm stupid. Because what I said was,
you don't gotta go too
hindsight.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened. So I did the first season for like peanuts, right? And I'm like, all right, great, this is gonna be great. It's gonna put me on the map, and people are gonna know me, and they're gonna appreciate me.
Yeah.
And then when season 2 rolled around, I'm like, hey, so now that we're getting a lot of views and it's doing really well, and people seem to like the show,
show me the money.
That's what I said. I'm like, hey, look, here's what I want to do, and like, here's
here we go. What we looking at right here?
See, boom. Look at that youngster right there.
Clean, bro. You don't even rock the bandana on your neck.
Look at that.
Well, that hair's
There's no ascot. The ascot's not there.
Noche desastre.
So what is this? What are we looking at?
So this is my pilot episode. This is Jordan Loves the La Jolla Sea Caves.
Looking clean, bro.
Funny thing about this, I contacted the Sea Caves and I go, hey, I want to shoot an episode down there. I'm like, oh yeah, you got to pay like $500. I'm like, no, I'm giving you free publicity on TV. And like, yeah, we don't care. And I go, oh, okay. So I didn't call him back. And what I did was my crew, there was only 3 of us. We just put all our gear in our backpack and we bought a ticket and went down there. And just, and then we never like coordinated with them because I'm like, I don't understand. I don't think you know how this works, people. And half of the places I go to, I just kind of
just steal the shot.
Make it happen.
Yeah, you just got to do it
it's a
anyway.
school project and get away with it. That's it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. So when season 2 rolled around, I asked them for significantly more money. And they came back with, well, we'll give you a 2% increase. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if I'm going to volunteer my time, I'll go to the library. Thanks. So I said, all right, I'm just not going to do a second season. But I still own the property.
Yeah.
So
you're doing it on your own.
Yeah, I decided to do it on my own. But I'm glad to say that I've gotten more. First off, I have more freedom when I do it on my own. And second of all, I'm able to market it myself, and it's been more popular independently than it was on KPBS.
What does Jordan Loves consist of?
So largely it's me covering places, events, and people and organizations that I think are making a difference or just interesting, you know? So I'll do anything from like new restaurants to like there's a food kitchen in Imperial Beach that is feeding the public for free. And I think it's great. And so I'll put out the call saying, hey, please come volunteer, please donate, whatever.
Oh, it's nice.
I mean, I feel like it is my responsibility to try and give back if and when I can.
That's beautiful.
Well,
That's a good.
We need more of that. Yeah.
Because you're promoting everybody else on your own
Showing
platform.
love.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, you know. But I mean, it isn't always. Sometimes I do businesses, and sometimes businesses get pissed because I don't. Look, my show's cynical. I don't, you know, it's not an advertisement. It's my take on a place. And some people don't particularly care for that. And that's okay.
They may not understand the humor.
Yeah.
Some of it, the sarcasm and yeah.
And humor's subjective. I get it. But by and large, people tend to like it. It is funny though, because everybody's always going to complain. And like I did an episode on Chicano Park and I said, hey, come to Chicano Park Day. There's going to be a lot of performers there. And most of them are actually good. And this lady's like, come on, Bato, why you got to say that about your community? I go, miss, if it's not for you, I get it. Block me so I never have to darken your screen again. And that's it, because I'm not going to argue with people. It's just, if my humor's not for you, cool. And my thing is this, because I think in KPBS, they wanted me to have mass appeal, which I get. But the thing is, instead of having 100 people kind of like me, I'd rather have 10 people absolutely love me. Even if the other 90 are like, I don't care for that guy. That's cool because they're not my audience. I want to do what I'm doing and put my message out. And hopefully that lands with like the right people, people being whoever gets it, you know?
So out of all the things that you do, what do you prefer to do the most?
I like
hosting,
directing.
the acting, directing. Oh,
I love directing. Yeah. I mean, it's just when you're in that director's chair, it's like, it feels like that's where I'm supposed to be. Right. And with the right crew, everything just falls into place.
What's the director's role? I know I'm not.
It's like being the captain of the ship, kind of. But it's mostly directing, mostly leading the artistic portion of it. Because I got to be honest, like I try not to do projects without producers, because producers are the ones that handle like the real tough stuff, staffing and getting locations and bringing in the right people. You know, I tell them, look, I'm going to shoot here. I want this type of person, and then they bring them all in.
You tell the producer.
Yeah. But the producer can also veto a lot of the stuff that I want to do. For instance, my producer, I wanted to make a cameo, and she goes, no, we need you on set. Well, I mean, I could have told her, hey, get out of here. But she was right. I had to focus on what I was doing. And I appreciate that.
Was this because you're a fairly new director and they wanted you to focus, or?
It's because the feature film was new to me. And so, yeah, she wanted me to focus. Here's the thing. I think that a director is only as strong as the crew that he puts together. Yeah. And I'm glad to say that I put a very good crew together. I'm very proud of the people that I work with and their abilities. And sometimes they question me, and that's okay, because I don't want yes people. I want people that... film is the most collaborative art. And so for me, I love collaborating. I love working with people. So when they bring things to the table, I mean, I either accept it or I don't, but I love hearing it no matter what, you know? And
what are some of the things that you think the industry here in San Diego lacks?
Well, I think a big problem in the industry is that I'm glad that a lot of us, I'm willing to work for free for my friends, but a lot of my friends don't ask me to work for free because they respect me as an artist, right? And they respect the struggle. And a lot of people are still doing free projects, which is, I'm trying not to criticize because I understand we have very small budgets. But if I'm going to work for free for somebody, it's an understanding that like, hey, look, I'm giving you 2 hours. Don't keep me on set all day. One of the things that bothers me is this, and you see it a lot with new directors. They go, I want everybody on set at 10 a.m. And I go, whoa, you want the crew and the cast on set at 10 a.m.? Yeah. What happens is this. Everybody gets there at 10 a.m. It takes the crew 2 hours to set up, right? Which means I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass for 2 hours just looking around. And I'm like, no. Do this properly. If the crew comes in at 10, I'll come in at noon, right? Then you'll be ready for me. Yeah. And it's stuff like that. Like, I'm not greedy. I don't need a lot of money, but I prefer my time not be wasted. Yeah. And as a courtesy to the people I work with, I try not to waste their time either.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Eric, so we got to make sure when we ask Jordan to come on that it's not for free.
Yeah.
No, but this is good
No.
stuff. This is promotional stuff. I like it.
So when we shoot the movie,
You made it clear.
What is that?
Oh yeah,
That direct- that's where you get the
that's where I get the ass cap.
It's not just an aesthetic thing because the ladies love it.
Earn that. Okay. You got to be a director to wear that.
You know what's up.
Nice. So did you start wearing the bandana after you got the directing gig?
No, man. I started wearing it last year. So the thing is, I was playing like this scumbag character. So I'm like, what would a scumbag wear? So I wore this, but like I posted the photo on Instagram and a lot of people were like, you look really good. Mostly lady people. So I was like, all right, cool. Because it's not about me. It's about the consumer. So I wear this now and it tends to, I don't know, it tends to go well. They like
I
it.
always wonder what people add an accessory like that. Like you have like the Crocodile Dundee hat guy. You have obviously the
I think even
bandana
Crocodile
thing.
Dundee had a bandana. Didn't
Did he have a
I
bandana?
think so.
I can't remember. Actually, he just wore that weird vest with like no shirt on for whatever reason. Remember that? But it's a look.
And the large knife.
It is a
Yeah,
look.
the knife.
There's so many looks.
I mean, some people would call it peacocking, which kind of does work, right? Because I'll go to a networking event, right? But the thing is, I'm the only one there dressed like a gay pirate from the future. So who's gonna forget me? Who's gonna forget? So everybody that's like, oh, have we met before?
From the future.
That's what pisses me off. When people are like, oh, I don't remember meeting you.
There goes homeboy. You're right.
Yeah, right? You remember that guy?
Dude, look at that,
Look at this.
bro.
And he had the wristband, whatever that was.
I love that.
That's the kind of outfit that
Look at the
my
wristband.
grandma would call "mira mi huevo" because you have no choice.
Yeah.
You got to remember that guy.
Yeah, someone's gonna look at you
Mira, man.
either way.
That's the way it goes, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, how's the film festival situation in San Diego? There's got to be a lot of them, including the Latino Film Festival.
There's some great
Yeah,
ones.
there's a gang, right? Filipino, Asian Film Festival. There's all kinds. The North County.
I mean, I'm kind of persona
Vista,
non grata
all
with the Asian Film Festival right now, but all the other ones I'm very.
You've been blackballed from that one.
Yeah, there was some unpleasant.
Yeah.
It's a big misunderstanding. You know?
I get it.
Some of my
Happens.
best friends are Asian film festivals, so. But I love my favorite one so far is the San Diego Latino Film Festival. I've been going since 1998, and it's always been a dream of mine to have a film in that festival. And I have had short films, but now my feature I wanted to premiere there.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens, you know. But I that's my favorite festival. I met Edward James Olmos there. I met Ray Bradbury there. It was, for me, it was magical. It was like the best week and a half of the year.
What do you do there? Do you host? Do you just partake?
Occasionally I host. And so I'll do promo videos and I'll host the red carpet. And it's amazing because not only do I look, these are events that I go to anyway because I love it. But now I get a pass. I don't have to sneak in. So that's nice. And I get to have access to some of the actors. I interviewed Joaquin Cosillo, who played Cochiloco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that guy.
He's a scary looking dude, right? And like every role he's ever played, he plays a nut.
Even when he's a good guy or like a not a bad guy, he still feels like a bad guy.
Yeah.
No matter what.
But what's weird is I was talking to him. He's a real gentle dude, and he writes poetry
You
in
got
his free time.
Cochiloco, Eric?
Which one is he? Which I'm trying to think.
He's the dude. He was a Bond villain, and he was the one that like tried to rape.
Yeah, there he is with the
Oh,
Cochiloco.
okay.
He's a scary looking dude, but
Yeah.
he writes poetry in his free time, and I'm like,
No
you
way.
know,
What the fuck? That
but he's the nicest dude,
He's dope.
you know. And he took like pictures with me, but my mom's like, "Me quiero tomar fotos." I'm like, I don't know, mom, I don't know.
Oh, so your mom goes with you on these?
Oh yeah.
How
Like-
close are you with your mom and dad? What's your relationship?
We're very close. It used to be contentious, but it's funny as you get older. I look, I know this is true for me. As I've gotten older, I found that I have more in common with my parents.
Yeah.
And we're pretty close. I mean, I live 10 minutes away from them, but I pretty much make my own schedule when I have work. If not, I just don't have shit to do. So I'll pop in on them like 3-4 times a week, you know, and it's nice.
Good for you. What's your dad say now? Because now it's like, hey, Dad, remember when I used to grab
Yeah,
the
he
camera
got you
from
going, Tech.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Remember when I used to take the camera from you?
Well, for years, he was like, get a goddamn job.
Yeah.
But when I finally told him, look, I'm going to do film and that's it. And he's like, all right. And so they supported me from then on in, which I'm really grateful for. And, they
There was no pushback on that?
at first, yeah, for years. But finally they go, all right, well, they realize it's just something I have to do, you know? It's just a drive, which is why when people are like, well, I'm going to get rich doing blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. The arts is tough, you know? Do it because you love it, because chances are you're not going to make any decent money from it, you know? But, but they've been pretty supportive. And and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. And it's been nice because I know a lot of people who are artists whose parents don't support them. And it makes it even harder, you know, because they're struggling as artists as it is. And now you got your parents telling you every day, you know, what are you going to do? Why are you doing this?
Do you have any kids of your own?
No, I don't believe so. But anything can happen, really.
Nephews or nieces?
Yeah, a couple nephews and nieces.
Nice.
Yeah, but as for my own, I don't, you know, but any day now, somebody. I've been very reckless for the last 25 years. So really.
So there might be some.
Yeah, you never know.
Some little Jordan Jr.'s running around somewhere.
God forbid.
So as a South Bay head, knowing the demographic and knowing what we came out of here, what would you tell another youth that says, I want to be like Jordan?
I want to get into film. I want to
do what you do.
Right.
What would you tell them?
Well, I think the best part of this industry is this. You know, other industries, you have to look, if you want to be a doctor, you got to go to med school for years and years and years. But the thing with the arts is just having a drive to do it, you're already halfway there. Yeah. And it's a struggle for sure, but you don't need a degree for it. I mean, a lot of people get it and I respect them for that, but you don't need a degree to do it. You can just go into acting. You can just go work on a film set. I mean, you have to pay your dues and be an intern on a film set, but I've had a lot of kids that have come work with me.
You don't need a film degree to be in film. I
know a guy who actually got I think he got a bachelor's in film, but he goes, but they never, well, it was my film teacher. And he goes, but they never asked me for my degree. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I took all the classes that I could, A, to learn the trade, and B, to meet other people that were interested in film. And these are contacts and friends that I still have for like, I went to film school 15 years ago. But yeah, you don't need the degree. And honestly, if you love something enough, go do it. And that's very true of the arts. And so I would say anybody interested in getting into it, you can. And another thing I would say is this: it's really never too late. I mean, I know a lot of people who started late. Look, Samuel L. Jackson didn't start acting until he was, I think, right?
Wow.
I think. I could be way off, and I hope I don't.
What was his first thing that he was in?
He did Jurassic Park just before Pulp Fiction. And then he was
in Goodfellas.
He was in Goodfellas. He was Stax.
Stax, yeah. He was in Goodfellas.
I think he did another thing, but like,
yeah, but you didn't even know, like, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't like
the guy
significant role in any of that, but
he hadn't become Samuel L. Jackson yet. Yeah. But like,
you add him to any film, you know it's going to be.
Yeah.
He's the best part of Pulp Fiction. You know?
It's the best part of pretty much anything.
Him or John Travolta. I mean, both of them working together is pretty crazy.
They were good.
Yeah, that's a movie's up there too.
That was a good.
What are your top 3 movies? Since you have a certain eye for that,
I'd say my top movie is The Godfather because it's beautiful. It's just amazing.
1 or 2.
Why?
1.
What makes it so beautiful in your eyes?
It's because twice this has happened. I go, have you seen The Godfather? And people have said, I don't watch those kinds of movies. I'm like, you mean Academy Award nominated masterpieces? What up? Yeah. I'm like, no, this is violent. I'm like, you clearly have never seen it because it's a beautiful, I mean, yes, it's violent, sure. But ultimately, it's a story about a family. It's well crafted. The themes are amazing. And what a performance by Al Pacino. You know, he goes from this little guy who talks like this, you know, to like this powerhouse. And he doesn't, it's just amazing.
The transformation right before,
it's amazing.
Right before your eyes.
Yeah. And you love those characters. Like, it feels like it's your family, you know? When Sonny bites the bullet, you feel it because you love Sonny. He's an animal, but you love him. You know,
number 2 movie?
Number 2 is Birdcage.
Before we get into that.
Okay.
Did you watch The Offer?
The Offer? No, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, go home and watch that one. If truly The Godfather is your favorite, you got to go home and watch that one.
Okay.
It's a short watch. I think it's maybe like 6 episodes or 8 episodes.
Oh, it's nothing.
It's only 1 season, but it's a series on the making of The Godfather and all the stuff that it took to make that. So dope.
I can't wait.
And it feels like you're watching like another movie, like another 8-hour movie.
Crazy.
From those times. It's like an 8-hour thing. Dude, it's pretty dope, dude. It's really dope. Check out The Offer.
I know
so
it's
dope.
super insider, but like, I love movies about the making of other movies.
Then
like,
you're going to love this.
It's going to be great because HBO made a movie about the making of Citizen Kane. And to some people, it's better than Citizen Kane. It's just really good because all the stuff that went into it.
Yeah, that's what this is. So it's from the perspective of the producer.
Okay.
And so it tells his story on what happened like how he got to that point to make that movie.
Can't wait.
And then how he got all those characters in, how they got Marlon Brando, how they got Pacino, like they didn't want Pacino at first.
Well, then went to Robert Redford, right?
Dude, he went to go visit Robert Redford. Like, dude, it was just so,
There's a lot to it.
dude, it's so dope.
Did they go to Cuba?
Well, the other
You know what? No, I think no, but they could have. I don't remember.
Go visit Superman.
Yeah, go see. No, dude, they went to Marlon Brando's house, and he wanted. I think he was just trying to piss somebody off. I think he was trying to piss off Frank Sinatra.
okay.
So they go to his house, and he transforms into this character. So he's like, hold on, and he starts doing a voice, and then he goes and he gets like tissue, and he puts tissue in his mouth.
Sure.
And then that's when he did and they were like, whoa, he just transformed right before our eyes into the Godfather,
Wow.
and dude, just so dope. Like once you see all the stuff, you see how the Colombo family got involved, and I mean, all the way around, like it was kind of a masterpiece of a little. Like I've never seen it. It's a documentary without being like more of a film, more of a movie.
Yeah, docudrama.
Yeah, it's so dope.
Well, because Frank Sinatra punched Mario Puzo in a restaurant one time.
Yeah.
Because that character, John Fontaine,
that's
was
in there.
based on him.
That's in the show.
Oh, really? Okay, I gotta watch
It's
it.
in the show.
Nice.
So Mario Puzo comes up and he's like telling him like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here. Oh, yo." And then one of his guys tells him, "Hey, that's the dude. That's Mario." And he's like, "What?" And so he like smacks him, and Mario Puzo goes to grab a fork or something, and he's like, he's trying to like defend himself, like what? And so the producer had to come break it up or whatever. And
Sounds like a delight.
it was pretty dope. But like they actually show that part
That's crazy.
in there where Sinatra is kind of like, because I guess it was in their eyes it was shedding like negative light on Italians, and he's like, that's not what I'm trying to do with this. And so once they caught wind that they were doing the movie, a lot of people were like against it, and it takes you through this whole. It's pretty dope. Wow. Go watch it. You're gonna hit me up. You're gonna be like, Ruben, you were right. It's so dope. All right, number 2 movie.
My number 2 movie is The Birdcage, because I think it is the funniest movie ever made. I've seen that movie like 30 times, and every time I find something new that I hadn't seen before. It is so goddamn funny.
There's a rumor you also watch like The Mummy 30 times.
Yeah, so I have this friend, and she watches The Mummy
all the time.
Every other time I pop over to her house.
Nice.
And it's like, hey, whatever. It's a lot of people I know are on the spectrum. Good for her.
It's like me and Con Air.
Con Air. Eric, you love Con Air?
Something about Nicolas Cage.
Hey.
There's no holiday without Con Air. You know?
That's for real. That's for real. Gotta watch Con Air. What's number 3? What do you got for number 3?
Number 3, probably going back to Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Wow.
So goddamn fun. It's Tim Burton's first movie.
Was it?
Oh,
Yeah, and you could see so many like pre-Tim Burton,
What a trip.
like what he would become.
Yeah.
I think that movie's brilliant. It is so well written, and it's like it really isn't for kids.
Yeah, once you think about it, once you watch it back,
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot.
dude, but
I haven't seen it in a long time.
there's a lot of like the old 80s like cult classics that were like, oh, that wasn't meant to be, like the Goonies and certain stuff where it's like, dude, they're what was it? Stand By Me, where like they're actually like drinking beer and smoking a cigarette, and they're like, whatever, 14 years old or something. Like, you're like, what?
It's like 90% of those movies.
Great movies. Well, even sometimes it's dumb.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, Howard
the Duck was classic. When his feathers go up, it's like, okay. Now
It's like, that's not for kids, but at the time, like we thought it was, but it's like, no, that's not, it's not for kids.
My dad took me to go see, I begged him to go take me to see the Bill and Ted sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And I remember when they meet each other, like, all right, what's our favorite number? And then at the same time, they're like, 69. And everybody in the theater laughed. But I was like 11, so I'm like, hey, Dad, wait, why is it funny? Hey, Dad. He was like, shut up. It's like, all right.
I'll tell you later, in 10 years from now.
He never had the sex talk with me, so I didn't get that joke for years.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
That's too bad. What about on the TV show like side of things? Like, yeah, you got your movies that are so dope. What about like series? What's on your
Yeah, what does your humor line up with?
I like
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I loved a show called Arrested Development. I don't know if you guys-
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
so brilliant. It was so brilliant. And the thing is, you had to watch them in order, but like every episode built on each other. And I was heartbroken when they canceled it, but but whatever. But I would say a spiritual successor to that is that show Veep. It's the best thing that Julia Louis-Dreyfus ever did. She plays.
I don't think I've
never seen it. Spell that Veep.
Yeah, VEEP, and it's like
Never seen it.
she's the vice president, but it's like super boring because she doesn't do anything. But it builds anyway. It's like political humor, but it is so funny, and it's HBO, so like a lot of it is really. There's a lot of profanity, and like a lot of the insults are just vicious.
You
Very
seem
funny
like
show.
a Larry David type of guy.
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love that guy. Seinfeld was very good too. You know,
Yeah, I think Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I'm an
is
Office guy. I like The Office.
Office great.
The Office. Yeah, it's my top one.
If you were to like say on your dream list to form a quick cast for you to be involved in, hey, I'm gonna do a movie, and it's gonna be with these people. Who would that be with?
they're all dead.
Okay,
Yeah,
that one.
like the old schools.
Yeah, I love Paul Rubens. I love Jerry Lewis, although they say he was an asshole. I loved Larry David. I'd love to work with.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, they say he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's like my jerk sarcasm hero. Like I love that guy. I love that type of humor. he's so dope.
You know what I'd like to do though? I'd like to make a movie with a bunch of actors that like people have seen before, but they don't know their names. Like Stephen Tobolowsky, the dude who was in Groundhog Day.
Oh, I love Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you remember that nerdy guy who was like he keeps trying to sell him insurance.
Oh yeah.
That guy's been in a million films, right? But like I know his name because I'm a nerd. But like I would work with that guy. I'd work with the what's his name? He was
It was Norm.
He played
Cheers.
the husband Norm in Fargo, right? The painter. She's like, I'm proud of you, Norm.
I'm not this stale guy.
Yeah, that's Stephen Tobolowsky. Everybody, nobody knows his name, but you've seen the guy before. I'd work with that Asian dude who always plays the Asian dude in films. He's got the most IMDb credits. He's been in more films than anybody alive. Oh my God, what's his name? He was Cassandra's dad in Wayne's World 2. He was like the alien.
Yeah, he's got the Fu Manchu beard.
Yeah, and he was the alien who's been living on Earth for a bunch of years, and the day the Earth stood still. Like he's in everything. He's in everything.
He can be funny. And I think I seen him some not too long ago where he was actually serious.
Yeah, well, he was serious, and he was the doctor who designed the eyes in what's it called? Jesus. That movie about robots.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's in everything.
He's serious in Blade Runner, and then he's the dad in Kung Fu Panda, and he's hilarious in that. I want to make a movie with all these like character actors that like never got their shot. I think it would be fantastic.
So dope.
That's a good idea, dude. No.
So you also had some that you were
Like
doing
Clint
called,
Howard.
sides.
Yeah, I had a series that we shot at a bar on 3rd Avenue called Brew Bar. It was like a coffee shop / wine bar / beer bar.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fun. We shot about 6 or 7 episodes with a really dedicated cast and crew. And but they've since closed down Brew Bar, so we didn't really look. We did a solid 7 episodes, but that was the end.
What was that, like a PBS thing, or was that just a you thing? Or
No, it was during the pandemic, and we were all. I'm a writer and an actor, and my buddy who's a director was like, "Let's do something." So we put our friends together, and we put the project together. And but we were really paranoid about catching COVID, so all of us would quarantine before we'd shoot, and then we just pick a time and just shoot all the blocks and we had nothing but time, So I wrote every episode, and it was good. It was fun. It was something to do,
It's crazy how paranoid we were in those times about like staying away, and now everybody's all up on each other and it's all good.
Yeah,
and you still caught it. Like whether you were 6 feet, 10 feet.
whether you got vaccine or not, you still got it.
That's a trip.
But you know what's weird? I don't really hear about people getting it anymore right now. Or maybe they do and I just don't hear about it. Or maybe they don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, recently, I think I caught like 3 months ago.
I think I heard Tribal Seeds or something just got it.
Really?
Oh my God.
It's going around. I think nobody's testing
Yeah,
for
you
it.
had it like
I got them all. I
5, 6
collect them
months
like
ago.
baseball cards. I got all the collection.
yeah. I
Yeah.
got it a few times too.
Wait, there's no relation to Tribal Seeds at all? But Jacobo?
Yeah, are you related to the guys from Tribal Seeds?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Antonio and Steve.
What kind of connections are you making over here?
No, they're the same last name. I was just wondering.
Oh, that's Jacobo?
Yeah, and they're from South San Diego too.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that was their last name either.
Yeah, we've been working. Ruben and I have been working with them since they were like 15 years old. It's a trip.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the Globos. I mean, it's South San Diego's kind of tight knit too. A lot of everyone knows everyone.
Surprised I haven't heard of them.
Yeah,
You haven't heard of Tribal Seeds?
No, the group I have. I just didn't know their last name was Jacobo.
I was gonna say.
No,
I couldn't try.
Whoa.
Well, what's your music background? What do you like?
Oh yeah, what are you about?
I like a lot of classic rock. I like
nice.
some I like a lot of like 50s and 60s jazz and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. The
Do
Lilias.
you play anything?
No, I wish. I have nothing but respect for musicians, but I don't play anything.
Yeah, I can't play it.
Yeah, we bro.
Yeah.
We just talk.
How was I mean,
That's your instrument.
that's what we just
the mighty instrument that I get.
so we just talk. But growing up in South San Diego, moving to Arizona, kind of going all over the place. Then you said you went to Catholic school,
Yeah.
so I'm sure there was some injection of faith-based something while you're there. Where are you at now on your faith-based
Where are
journey?
you at with God?
I'm agnostic. So my thing is Shakespeare has that line, there are stranger things on heaven and earth than are dreamed up in our philosophy. And that's, I believe, true. So my thing is I believe there's something. I just don't know what it is. And it's always weirded me out that like certain religions are like, well, this is it. This is all the answers. I'm like, I you know, what are you talking about? You know, look, when I was living in Arizona, I had a lot of friends who were Mormons. And their culture is really interesting to me. I really, they have the best Thanksgivings because there's like homemade stuff and the whole house is warm and all these pies and all family and stuff. But their belief system is weird to me. And anybody, I think, but see, that's the thing with any religion, I think, because people will criticize Scientology. Is it weird? Sure. But it isn't any weirder than, look, had I not grown up around Catholicism, looking at it today, I would have thought, well, it seems odd. I think any belief system does. But I'm for religion just because I think there's a value to it. You know what I mean? We all want to express ourselves and our devotion any way we want to. I don't really know what the answer is, but I think there's a value in religion, just like there's a value in, it's just funny because, when the Soviets, they were so anti-religion, right? But they were also very pro-communism, right? And what is that if not fervor? You know what I mean? Like these revolutionaries were willing to die for this cause, just like people were willing to die for their God. Or just like, I mean, it's the same reason that people that are into sports and love a certain team gather in bars to cheer them on together. Because we want to believe in something, together. So I absolutely believe that there's a value in religion. I don't subscribe to any religion, but I do believe there is probably a higher power. I don't know what it looks like, honestly. I don't know what it consists of.
So you still believe that there's a creator for this creation that we're in?
I think so.
You just haven't. Have you gone deeper into trying to find that, or are you just kind of in the there's something, but it don't.
I think the best
matter much.
The best thing for me was just to stop thinking about it. I try to live as ethically as I can, and I think that's kind of the right way to go. Somebody was once, I saw an interview with Oprah, and she said, "Well, what about the people that weren't introduced to Christianity? Right? But do they automatically go to hell?" That to her that seemed like baloney, and I kind of think the same thing too.
I personally don't think so. You might think different. I don't know. But I personally don't think so, because if they weren't given the opportunity to be introduced to the gospel, then there's no, you're not at fault.
Right. It's not their fault.
But if they're out in the jungle somewhere and someone happens to bring a phone or a computer or a Bible or whatever and introduces them and they still don't, and then it's a different story.
Okay.
Because you had your opportunity, you had that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I like what you said. Morally, you try to do what's best, and I used to think the same way, bro. Just to be clear, like I just started walking with God. I went to Monte Carmelo. I don't know if that's where you went growing up.
Yeah, that was my church.
I used to go for churros and champurrado.
Yes, churros I loved it.
Extra sugary.
Oh,
no way. Crazy good.
I got kicked out of that school.
Yeah. Oh, look at
Yes, South San Diego.
But I was the same way. I used to think like morally, like I'm a good dude before I knew Christ. And then once I started reading the Bible, I'm like, these guys act like they're all holy. And then once I started reading and I was my first heart was to prove Christ wrong. Like, dude didn't exist. There's no way. And then when you start looking at historically, you'll see if it's some other dudes that they probably died non-Christians,
Yeah.
then I realized through scripture that the Bible says you break one law, you broke them all, you know? So that's all it is accepting Christ and realizing that we need a savior to pay for our sins. Because no matter how ethically good and morally good, I don't care what you do, as soon as you step outside and you think you have judgment on my brother Jordan, it's over. I'm failure now. Now I need a savior again. So I could probably do good. It's like showering. You go outside, you're going to sweat the next day, the next day, the next day. So eventually you need to shower up. And that's why I see Christ. Like Christ comes in and dies for us. He died for our sins. And it's on us to accept him as our savior and live a beautiful eternal life. He came as a substitute.
That's well said. You know what I mean?
Well said.
But I get it. No, one of our other boys, same name actually.
Jordan,
Yeah, man, same thing. And it's
what's with all these Jordans?
regardless, you ended up on our prayer list, Jordan. That's
That's what that means. That means
yeah, that's
put you on
just
the
means
prayer
we
list.
love you and we're gonna pray for you.
shouldn't.
And I love your honesty about where you're at, you know. And I've been there, so keep seeking that, you know. I know you said you try not to focus, but I would peek over that.
But ultimately, if you're on the level of knowing that there is a creator in this creation that we're in, you know, just like that painting had a painter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like saying a film don't got a producer, just like you, a writer.
So,
Well, it's interesting. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
no, go ahead.
But, but just to touch back on the Jesus thing, you know, I did 6 years of Catholic school. Well, okay, maybe not. Anyway,
That's tough.
I did a lot of Catholic
boot camp right there.
It was. And we studied the Bible not just from a religious perspective, but a literary and historical perspective. And a lot of that, what I learned about the Bible has informed my writing. But to touch on Jesus, I think it's a lot of my ethics goes into what would Christ do about that,
That's beautiful.
you know? And I think
That's beautiful.
big time. And I think that there's a huge value to it because
Keeps you in line a little bit.
yeah. And I think a lot of things that people do in the name of Christianity kind of upsets me because
I would agree.
because they go, okay, but if Jesus were here now, would he be cool with you?
Yeah.
You know, saying like would Jesus be like,
Misrepresentation.
Yeah.
that's what I think.
That. Yeah, yeah.
And it upsets me when they use it to their own ends. You know what I mean?
Preach.
And because that's the thing, like, look, from everything I read about Jesus, he was a feminist. He was a hippie. He was very, for his time, he was very liberal. You know, he was very, and he
And I guess-
accepted people. He loved people,
Kind of a rebel at that time.
big time. Big
Obviously
time.
unaccepted.
Yeah. Unaccepted at the time.
Absolutely was an
But
outsider.
raw, like you were very,
He was
you're
an
very
outcast.
raw with your words, and you mean it in love when you're like, "Hey, this is no good," or "This is good."
Absolutely.
And I would agree that he was like that. You know, he'd call you out on the good and the bad.
I think so.
Well, at least you have a foundation of.
And he hung with outcasts and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I just think he was so much more complex than people think. I have a movie that I want to do about Jesus. And I've had it in
What is it? What is it?
I don't know. I can't.
Ruben loves The Chosen. He might want to know about this.
I can't.
I do.
I'm still developing.
I am
but-
not a fan.
You,
Ruben loves
you know
it.
what I like? I like films that take a different perspective on that time and what happened there. So there's a movie called The Risen.
Okay, I don't think
And,
I've seen that one.
And so in Risen, it was a Roman soldier that was given the task to go and investigate the body of Jesus.
Okay.
So Pontius Pilate at the time is like, hey, you know, these Jews are
Tripping.
causing an uprise about this guy. You know, I want to make sure that he stays in the tomb and this whole thing. So he's like, oh man, all right, well, let's go back. He was there. He watched Jesus die. They sent him to go take him off the cross and the whole thing. So he shows up and he watches him die. He tells the other soldier to put the spear in his side and the whole thing.
Wow.
So the whole movie is based on this guy's perspective. And it's not necessarily like a biblical thing,
Sounds very unbiblical. Go ahead.
but it's dope because it's an outside perspective. Like, yeah, it could happen. Who's to say that it couldn't have? Even though it's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
So even like in The Chosen, I was telling my wife, we're watching, there was an episode where Jesus was hanging out with a bunch of the kids, you know, a bunch of children. And he's teaching them and he's talking to them. And I was thinking, dude, how dope would it be to do like a film on like the perspective from one of these kids? Like, I got to hang out with Jesus. And then later on in one of the other episodes, it's when Jesus is preaching, like some of the kids are like sitting on a rooftop and they're watching Jesus preach. And they're like, we know him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking like, dude, how dope would it be to get a perspective of some of the kids like in the Bible said, Jesus was teaching, hang with the kids. To do a whole movie on the perspective of the kids, like what if one of them was there during the crucifixion or something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Almost like a Forrest Gump to like the Jesus times where he saw everything.
Yeah. So from the outside looking in, So yeah, it's not biblical. It's not in the Bible, but I'm like, that would be dope. Like the different perspectives and
I love that.
Because everybody has their own story and everybody has their own experience with Jesus and what that might be for them, and how they came to know Jesus. And I just think that would be, it's different. It's dope.
Well, it's like earlier we were talking about Scorsese, right? Like we're all Scorsese fans, and Scorsese made The Last Temptation of Christ, which is amazing.
I'm not a fan of that one, but yeah.
But see, to me,
I haven't seen it. What's up? What do you not like about it?
I just think it's blasphemous.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Reason? A little bit.
Yeah, well, the way that he was trying to create a relationship based with him and Mary, and it was it made Jesus like if Jesus in my eyes never sinned.
Yeah,
and so they kind of gave him that, like, well, he could have, and he had these feelings for Mary, and it could have, and it was just like a whole other like it's not really.
And that's the danger, though. If you don't stay within the lines of like the Bible, you swing away, then there's a danger.
But being a Scorsese, because sometimes
I mean, it's not his best film. It's not his best film at all. I'll tell you that.
Agrees on
also,
that,
look, like, Pontius Pilate was played by Harvey Keitel, but he sounded like. And I'm like, wait a minute, what part of Brooklyn was Pontius Pilate from? It's like, Jesus, you're a hypocrite, Jesus. You're like, okay, now
I gotta watch.
We can't bring in another actor to play Pontius Pilate.
Have you seen? It was Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, I love Count of Monte Cristo.
So Luis Guzman is in that.
It's the worst part.
He's so dope. He's so dope. But he still has the accent.
Yeah, he's a Puerto Rican pirate.
Yeah,
nobody checks them. Like they leave the accent.
Dude, but it was so dope. And there was even a part where he's like telling him, "Hey, so you just tell me who he is, and I'll go over there and just bang bang." And and you're just like, "What?"
Where you at with that, Jordan? Should he have checked his accent
with the Louis? Yeah, he should. Yeah, I remember taking a girl on a date to watch it, and to this day we're still friends, and we still laugh about. Because the whole time we were making jokes about Luis. I love Luis Guzman as an actor, but it's like he was not the right guy to play a pirate because he wasn't like Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico. He was a Puerto Rican from like the Bronx.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had the accent still.
Yeah.
So he didn't try to hide the accent. But for him to like in that scene where he's like, "Hey, you just tell me, man, you don't got to worry about it. It's bang, bang, and whatever." And you're just like, who's that?
Yeah, it's Luis Guzman from Carlito's Way. Yeah, you can't just
because
that's his best. That's his best.
He was great in that. I love him.
But it's a period film. You know what I'm saying? It's a period film. So you're like, this was supposed to take. Yeah, where did he come from?
Yeah, it was weird.
So dope.
But see, here's the thing. I regarding Jesus, I take the opposite tack almost because here's the thing. What I liked about Last Temptation of Christ is that it, in a way, it humanized Jesus. His last temptation really is the temptation to live a regular life like everybody else, to have a family and stuff. His sacrifice is not just like his physical life, but like the life he could have had. And to me, that almost seems like the most brutal thing because he has to give up on the prospect of having a wife and kids. It's not his best film. I find that perspective interesting. Because like
if he was fully man, his perspective was...
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what tempted him. He just wanted to be like everybody else.
But that kills the deity of who he is.
No, he's not.
Like if God was ever man and man was ever God, it was Jesus. Yeah. And so to take that part away from him and
no, he's just like us now.
And humanize him in a way where, I got to go pee. I get hungry. I get angry. There's emotions, but not where... okay, he sinned or he didn't want to not be the Son of God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, like he knew the task. He knew what
he knew the mission and accomplished it, you know.
And that's what it was.
But that's cool how you say it's a different perspective,
And I just think the historical Jesus is fascinating to me. Yeah. My favorite story is when he goes to the temple and you see that there's all these money changers.
He flips the tables.
And he flips the tables. He essentially, he's furious and rightly so. But it's funny because that's not a perspective that you regularly hear, like the whole angry Jesus. Every other story is Zen Jesus, and then there's him flipping the tables, and it seems so out there. But it reminds, I don't know, to me, it just makes him more relatable.
Yes,
You know what I mean? To me, it makes it look like
real.
Yeah, because he's
So
real.
it's good, but today's day and age, I think a lot of people says they want to, tickle their ears and hear just all good, and no correction, So
Yeah.
And sometimes I think nowadays the church or the pastors that want to be famous, they don't teach that side of Jesus. They don't teach like that there's a wrath or that he gets angry.
oh
It's-
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Now it's just
the
like,
double-edged sword, dude.
we're just here to make you feel good about what
Just like your mom. Your mom probably loved you all crazy, but then when you slipped up, or your dad, there was
But
correction
that's
coming,
Yeah.
and they were both out of love,
Yeah, they didn't do it to be malicious.
Yeah, the correction was molding you to be a better
yeah.
human.
I mean, I got the
The chancla,
Yeah,
Cinto?
chancla, the cinto, everything.
everyone get the chancla, dude.
Yeah, that's
So knowing where you're at now, how hard is it to want to either quit or move forward? What sometimes you got to hit some of those crossroads where you just like, is it worth it or do I keep going?
I feel like quitting all the time. It's on Sunday. On Sunday, I reached out to my manager. I go, hey, I'm not booking anything. What's the story? And she goes, well, there's a thing tomorrow. Let me put you out for it. And it's weird because I hadn't booked anything in months. And then on Sunday, when I reached out to her, I went to that. And then suddenly I got an email. I was booked on Tuesday.
Nice.
And then I was booked on, I was booked on Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday. I'm like, wow. And it's weird. And it happens that way. It's just
I saw a post today on Instagram. I don't know what it was, but it said like entrepreneur's life is like 40 hours you make no money, and then that 41st hour you make 5 G's, and you're like,
it's insane.
it's so crazy,
Yeah. And that's the way it kind of was with this movie. Like, it was a lot of hard work, but toward the end, I had some money in my pocket and I was like, I'm going to relax a little bit. I shouldn't have done that. I should have put some of that money away. Because I was like, I finally thought, I'm like, oh, I made it. I'm going to spend some money. And that was a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, you got to tuck it away.
Yeah, because
you
then
never
it's feast or famine. And that's always the way
You never know where that next dollar is coming from.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah, going back to your Jordan Loves, I love that you go and hit up different restaurants around the city. Is it just San Diego based, or have you gone other places?
I've done other cities and people don't care. So I'm pretty much focusing on San Diego right now.
What are the top 3 spots that you recommend after doing all this Jordan Loves that people should go check out?
All right. So here's what I'm going to say. My top spot, I would say, is a bar that a lot of people don't know about called the Whiskey House.
Okay.
And it's right in it's in our San Diego's tiny Chinatown. Our Chinatown is like 2 blocks. But it's right.
I didn't even know.
Wait, where's our Chinatown?
It's weird, right? It's okay. It's
We got a China.
Who's calling it? You're calling it Chinatown?
I went on a tour one time, and they're like, "Oh, this used to be Chinatown." So I guess they still.
Gas lamp, right?
Yeah, it's at the end of Gas. It's right next to the Harbor Club Towers. But because there's like a Chinatown historical center, but I'm like, but this is like the only Chinatown building.
Wow.
Wait, how many Chinese spots are in Chinatown right now? Like, if there's 2 blocks?
I thought
There's
like
a
that,
Chinese restaurant and a Chinese historical center.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I would think that like over in off Convoy, that whole strip,
Like,
that,
You would think so.
but that's like Chinatown.
Yeah.
They got like Vietnam, Korean
Yeah.
stuff over there. Yeah, that's bomb. I love that area. Convoy's
Bomb.
It's great. I love it. The food is amazing.
Yeah.
So you were saying,
So it's called the Whiskey House, and it's really they
What's
have
good?
this chorizo mac and cheese that's some best I've ever had, and then they have it on happy hour, so it's like
Wow.
pretty cheap. It's like under $10. But
that-
that's big enough for a meal.
that's the dish right there?
That's the
I've
dish.
never even had.
Chorizo mac and cheese. That sounds wow.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Let's go.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, I'd say I discovered a place that apparently everybody else knew about called The Friendly, and they have smash burgers there. And but the thing is, they have very few menu items, and like you can't get like ketchup or whatever. If you want ketchup, you got to bring your own ketchup.
What?
Say that again?
Yeah, if you want ketchup, you got to bring your own.
So what's in the burger?
I don't know, just salad and a
I'm still
pickle.
hung up on
Wait,
this
what
ketchup
about the fries? They don't have,
They got fries. No, it's delicious.
But they don't got ketchup for your fries?
I didn't see any.
That's
But
crazy.
they also have pizza slices. But a buddy of mine, because it's in,
That's bomb.
like-
Where's it located? Okay.
and so it was like
Is only
10-15.
one of them?
No.
There's 4 of them, I think.
4 of them.
And it was like 10:15, and the dude goes, "Hey, let's go grab a burger." And I'm like, "Where at this hour?" And we went. There's like no parking, but there was a line around the corner. I was like, "Jeez."
Hey, that looks bomb.
Where is this at?
I think this one on 30th, and then there's one in PB.
Wow.
We got to go.
Convoy
these spots
at the
out,
North
dude.
Park.
Yeah, there's good spots. It's good spots.
The friendly. Okay, number 3.
Number 3, you know what? I really like the drinks at the Grass Skirt. That's it's like a secret tiki bar, and you go in through. It's fun. It's in PB, and the first time I went with a friend, and she and I walked around the building twice until finally some people at a yogurt shop like waved us in, and I'm like, "What's up?" I'm like, are you trying to get into the tiki bar? I go, yeah.
Grass shirt.
Hell, the grass.
The entrance is through the yogurt shop. It's through their fridge.
No way.
That's dope.
It's a great spot.
What do you recommend there?
Look at that.
I have a drink called the Chichi, which it's like coconut and pineapple-y, and it's delicious.
Did you try their food?
Nah, I can't afford it. It's PV, man. It's a pricey place. It's a pricey place, but
So those are your top 3. Okay, you got to check them out.
What about here in the South Bay? What's your go-to?
Okay, in the South Bay, they got a birria spot that was voted. I think Yelp reviewers voted it the best tacos in America.
Which one?
He's gonna say Fernando.
Fernandez.
Yeah, Fernandez. And he's a nice dude, but a lot of people, people freaked out. Like, this is not the best. Oh, who says that? Oh, you're saying they're better than TJ? I'm like, I'm not saying anything. That's what Yelp said, homie. And then also, I'm like, I didn't say they're probably better than TJ, but this is the best spot in the United States. And like,
I saw that video you said, you're like, it's in an alley and what'd you say? Like half an apart. I forgot.
Yeah, it's in a converted apartment complex, right? So you order like the living room window.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know what's above there, but
It is.
look at that. It used to be an apartment complex.
No, I love
Sure, like office building. There's
And he just repurposed it. And
Yeah.
but the food is delicious.
taxes
I've started as well.
My brother Charlie first told me about that spot, and I guess he knew somebody there. And I went. I was like, dope. Like it's so good. But then the homie Kuya took us to the other spot down the street, La Central. That I guess it's
right by the Purple Cow.
it's like
That's
his
what I
brother.
keep hearing. It's his
Yeah.
brother?
Yeah.
They're his brothers. I guess they were like the Birria brothers,
Oh.
and so they kind of broke up, I guess, and they're doing their own thing.
Thanks. That's what I heard. They're like, he betrayed his brother and went, what are you talking? This isn't Cain and Abel, asshole. We're just talking about tacos. Relax. But he's a nice guy. I haven't tried Central yet, but I have.
Hey, you gotta go.
Same thing with Central. Dude's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
You go, you meet the dude, right, the owner. Be prepared for a
We've mentioned
warm-
his hug like every episode.
yeah.
We gotta show him the hug mention.
it's a warm embrace, dude. It's
enough.
beyond a hug. Like,
No
but,
wonder he's more popular than his brother.
but I'm saying like the customer service there's next level too.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's different. It's
Yeah.
different.
I like good customer service.
It's like Fernandez video with a hug. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm taking. I like it.
Is there something up with their coffee or something too? Or
Oh, yeah, the
Coffee's great.
coffee's-
Well, the coffee was at the old spot as well, but
Oh yeah, I don't know that.
yeah. They were the same. Well, the guy, he would make it for me. I'd be like, hey, can you make it for me? And now he's at Central, so he's the guy.
If you're a coffee guy, you got to check the coffee.
It's like a big.
Yeah, I think it's called
check it out.
De La Casa or something like that.
But I got to find out what happened between the brothers because everybody always hits that.
That's an episode.
Investigation,
I think I'm
bro.
gonna do that.
Go do
That's
that.
I think it's a
episode, dude,
feature. It's a feature.
It's a win-win for us, though, bro. They're still both there. They're both bomb.
You can write a movie on that.
More
one.
better parking,
good.
a little better, some parking.
Yeah, there's some
back there.
actual parking.
Yeah, because this is you got to go to an alley.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's like, there's no handicap spots. I'm like, because it's a goddamn alley. It was never designed to have you park here.
It truly is an alley. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool spot to check out, though. Look, let's be honest. Some of the best food is found at some of the weirdest spots. Yeah, that's just the way it is. The nicer the restaurant, you got to wonder about.
So when you do these Jordan loves, Jordan hates, what's the crew like? You take a whole crew with you? Is it one guy?
It's just me most of the half of the time. It's just me. But I will sometimes I'll go with another person.
You on a tripod, and what do you do?
If I'm in it, then I will have whoever I invited hold the camera for a while. But if it's just me, then I'm not in the episode anymore. Sometimes I do shoot myself eating, which is odd, but
Do people like seeing videos of people eating?
Yeah,
or
dude,
not?
it's weird. It's weird.
Eric says they do.
some people, it's weird. Some people do, some people don't. My thing is I only eat for like a second in the videos, and I always eat like a slob because people seem to enjoy it.
Okay.
And so
Do they? Speak on that. What do you mean? Like
people find it I eat
like not proper.
on the videos. I'll eat with my mouth open, and I usually have a mess on my face. It's usually falling down, and people seem to like be delighted by it. And so I just because
Wait, they give you that feedback? Like, dude, keep eating like a slob. Like that's
sometimes, Other times, like, excuse an animal. I'm like, whatever. But they're watching, so who cares?
Yeah.
Well, have you ever heard of mukbang?
The what?
Mukbangs?
What
Like
is
on
that?
YouTube, like where people are just eating crazy. Like,
No,
it's a whole thing. ASMR mukbangs. They're making noise here. Watch. Let me look up.
that's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a whole genre. It's a whole genre.
No
it's crazy.
way.
Go watch.
People are like, man,
So people just grub on stuff on
Yes.
pig like. Let's see what.
So this guy has 28.1 million subscribers.
What?
Yeah, and so they just basically cook all this stuff, and then he just goes to town. Isn't that crazy?
That's what he does?
Yeah, this is the whole genre, the mukbangs. Yeah, they just go.
Mukbang?
Yeah. And they're just
Yeah,
eating.
gloves, bro. Look, he's eating proper.
Do they eat until they vomit?
Do you wear gloves, Jordan?
Just go.
No,
Jordan doesn't even wear gloves, dude.
Is
And
that
look
the
at-
guy?
And look at this on the side. Look, it's crazy, right?
you know what? I
I think it's a fetish. I think it's
This-
Wait, that's like the thing right here?
This is insane. I'm going to places actually doing research. Meanwhile, this guy just
on
sitting
the
there like a
screen,
pig and eating.
bro.
He's got like 140 million views. I'm in the
is
wrong
nuts.
business.
He didn't say a word. He just smashed on it.
Yeah.
Think about it, you're eating 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
All of that is all videos.
I'm going to start doing that.
Dude, handle that. Handle that.
almost done though.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah. It's meant to just.
That is dope. Dude, so in all the stuff you do, is there ever any like do you feel inside like, man, I want to teach someone else to do what I do?
Oh, absolutely.
Like a young Jordan.
Yeah. And I'll often bring like young people that are learning, that want to learn film onto my sets when I'm able to.
Intern.
Yeah.
Come intern on the set.
And they're just people that like reach out to me and stuff. And I go, yeah, okay, I'll bring you on. And so, but we just have them learn like,
And you do all your own editing and
yeah.
nice.
See, my crew is usually pretty small anyway. But when I do have a bigger thing, I do bring people on. And I do try to, I know they're still learning, but I do try to pay them just so, so they don't feel like I took advantage of them.
Yeah.
But no, I love teaching. I love talking to kids. Sometimes I speak to the students at the Team Producers Project over at the
Media Arts Center.
yeah, and they're great, and it's just so interesting, the enthusiasm that they bring and the ideas that they have. I love working with them, and any opportunity I get, it's what I like to do.
Well, we usually ask everybody that comes on if you would join us in doing some kind of connected community. How can we give back?
Good in the hood.
Okay, I'm down.
How can we do something like that with Jordan?
Well, one of the things that you mentioned was sort of talking to kids in like what was it, like detention centers, right?
Yeah.
And I'd love to talk to them because I used to work with kids in an after school program, and the kids that I did best with were the ones that were considered like troubled or like bad kids, because I always thought that was baloney. Like, I don't think there's a bad kid. I think there's a kid that has different needs. And so for me, I would give them tasks. I would give them special responsibilities, and they would never disappoint me. Nice. I just think that what upsets me is that when sometimes with kids, the same as people, they'll put them into like categories, and the kid starts believing that, and that's terrible. And so I'd love to be able to let kids know that they don't have to play the role that has been set out for them. Nice. They can do whatever they want. And so I'd love to be able to explain to some of these kids at the detention center that once they get out, if they want to pursue the arts, they can do it. And they don't need a degree. They don't need fancy schooling. They can just get into it.
I love that. Dream.
Yeah.
And you can help point them in the right direction. And
I would love to if I can.
So dope.
If I can,
And beautiful.
There's the give back right there. You can come with us.
That'd be great. I would love to help.
Or to get back to you on that.
Let's set up a tour so that you can come in and kind of check it out.
Let's do it.
And then see how we can set up some time for you to come in and share. And it's the detention center is like 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah,
from
it's
here.
close.
Okay, cool. I'm all about it.
And we've been in there a couple of times, and the kids need it. Let me tell you, they need some distractions.
There's nothing worse than look, hopelessness is terrible, but especially as a kid. I mean, you imagine that kind of informs the rest of your life.
And a lot of them didn't have parents on board really like correcting and loving them the way we did, or some of us did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that'd be a blessing if you did that, though, Jordan.
Be happy to do it.
Because I think there's a lot of knowledge that can be pulled out of that Jordan brain.
Also, if you're ever doing a short film, you need cameo. Me and Ruben could walk in the back row.
Hey, that'd be great. I want to shoot a scene, two podcasters. It's going to be good.
Or something. I don't know. Something. I've been a doctor. I was I don't know what it was, a counselor or something in Kilroy. I don't know what I was.
Hey, don't forget about the time we were DEA agents.
Yeah. Me and Eric Casas were DEA agents on a
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg video.
What? That's awesome.
It was a rock band called The Anchored, and they had Snoop Dogg in it, and we played DEA
I
agents.
love that.
Dude, he showed up late.
Snoop Dogg did?
Yeah, he was outside. He was parked outside, and he had like a Winnebago type thing. He was traveling it, but because he's seen me and Eric, and he really thought I think we're like ATF agents. Yeah, and he didn't want to come in until he made sure that we were gone, and someone had to tell him like, no, it's part of the video. Like they're acting, and he didn't want to come in for that.
That's a real concern.
We scared him off.
I mean, didn't they arrest Willie Nelson for like having? I mean, he's Willie Nelson. He's an American legend, and they still arrested him for having weed on him.
Yeah,
now imagine Snoop Dogg.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for a fact, Snoop Dogg had some. Remember Eric, when we walked in, we took pictures with him in his little thing, and I mean, there was
That's awesome though.
He parties.
Is that what it is?
He does his thing.
He does something.
He's true to himself. I respect it. You know.
But no, man, I appreciate you coming out. And
Yeah, big time.
how can people find you?
So people can find me. My channel is Jordan Loves on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can just follow me at Jordan Jacobo on Instagram and Facebook. And I pretty much am updating. I give updates on the different stuff I have going on. And like I said, I'm finishing up my feature film, and I hope to
What's that
debut
one called?
Yeah, what's it gonna be?
It's called The Lord Giveth. And so
Look at that.
I don't think that is you. I like that.
So I'm excited about it, and I don't know if the title's going to change. I hope not, because I like it.
I love it.
The working title.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and like I said, like a lot of biblical themes inform a lot of my work.
That's a dope name, dude.
Yeah.
I like that.
Once you come to accept Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're gonna make some amazing films on His behalf.
I think it probably.
I'm excited for that, bro.
God's gonna use you big
But
time.
thanks for coming here, bro. You're super talented. Like you're very raw. I love just your presence. You bring energy and just the way you go about making your videos. You're very creative. I love the humor. Yeah, your little subtle comedy. Yeah, I love that.
You're trying to be cynical, man.
The director vibe. Look at this.
Oh, there it is. Director vibe.
You would have.
What was today your last shoot date? You said, or this week was?
No, I
that
finally
film?
booked stuff this week.
No, but I'm saying for that film. When did you stop filming?
Oh, we mid-February.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So have you seen any of it yet?
No, because here's the thing: we could have gone with a lesser editor, and he would have gotten started right away,
Yeah.
or we could have gone with this guy, and he wasn't available for 3 months. And I go, but he's the guy. He's the guy. So I didn't. Obviously, I don't like waiting because I'm nervous and I want to see what it looks like. But it was the right move, you know.
Mm.
But we'll see what happens because I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous. I've never done anything on this.
Look at you, bro.
Wow, that looks
Real deal.
Wireless director's monitor. Damn, that's
Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, what do you got over your neck right there? What is that? That's a
dark.
That's a scarf because I'm super pretentious. So-
I think you're missing the hat too, right? Like little derby. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, I need a beret.
Yeah.
Lighting prop.
Ooh, we
love
How about
Yeah.
Oui. That's dope though, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats on all that.
Thank you very much.
You're doing it. You're an inspire many, bro. So we're excited to work with you.
I'm inspired.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you both for having me on because it's a great show. And I love that like really no topic is off limits. That's nice.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is nice.
Yeah, we're just chopping it up here.
Having conversation.
It's the way to be.
That's kind of the thing, and we try to make it to where it's not like a certain niche. It's like everything.
And it makes it easier when somebody's like you. You already like well spoken dude that
That's I was telling her, I'm like, this is gonna be an easy one.
no filter.
His
just
energy is
chopping
always
it
like
up.
high energy. Like, it's gonna
Love
be an
this.
easy one.
Yeah, cool.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint because I know some of your previous ones were colorful.
We're amazing.
Oh yeah, well they're all amazing. They're all amazing. We just it's a balance. It's a balance.
Yeah, different strokes.
But anytime you want to promote anything, man, like once everything's launched here with us or whatever, like do come back and
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
and there's gonna be Chicano Hollywood conference up in LA, so I'll shoot you the info. It'd be cool for you to go up there and network too with us.
Thank you. I'm all about it.
We went last year and we
It was
did
amazing.
We did a lot of networking.
Yeah.
Nice.
A
Yeah.
lot of that stuff's going to reflect on.
And that's your world, so you would love it,
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
There was everything: casting directors, there was producers, there was they had a whole panel of like where funding comes from and different banks
Oof.
that were funding.
Oh, they had some classes
Dude,
like that.
yeah, there was a little bit of everything, man. And so
That's what I need. Because
producers, everything. Like you name it, it was all there.
Wow.
And the beauty of it was like, there was a stage with a panel and people teaching and talking and doing. everything from music to influencers, podcasters, everything. But outside in the alley, that's where like everything took place.
Oh yeah.
Like, so there'd be other like celebrities, other actors just walking through and just hanging out in the alley with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so in the alley, there was like
Some of the guys from like This Fool, that show that was on, were there. There was people from all kinds of different.
yeah, like yeah, from Blood In, Blood Out, from dude. Yeah, I mean, you name it. Like it was just a whole like alley just full of just people that were in fashion, makeup artists, stylists, musicians, music supervisors, casting agents.
Why does it have to be the alley though?
Everything.
That's what it is.
Because it was in a warehouse. So the place, it was a church.
Yeah.
It was like an old warehouse that was turned that someone bought it, turned it into a church called Fearless.
Yeah.
Fearless LA.
Super nice setup.
And it was super dope. So the guys putting it on, they were like, dude, this place is sick.
That was the best setup ever.
Yeah, they're like, let us do a thing here. And they did it, and it just turned out dope. So it's like right in the heart of downtown LA.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's funny because that's where the networking happens. That's how you get your jobs, you know?
Yeah.
That must have been interesting. Just hang out in the alley and who pops through.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was just because nobody had an attitude, and it was just like everybody was just kind of mingling with everybody and shaking hands, and dude, it was so dope. But yeah, we'll fill you in on that. Maybe
Yeah, please.
come
That'd
up with
cool.
us and-
Yeah.
some networking. Yeah. So man, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it. And anytime you need anything from us, just reach out. But we are gonna pull your card on the going to juvie and talking to these kids. So we will be doing that. So yeah, we'll be talking soon. This episode is brought to you by Love Thy Neighbor. Make sure you guys go check out lovethyneighbormovement.com. If you guys want to donate, you guys want to do a little something, make sure you guys continue to support what we're doing so we can go out and do more good things. Again, stuff like this and being able to go into in Tijuana, deliver toys, still do the toy drive stuff here and the stuff we're doing in the juvenile hall. If you want to support, go to lovethyneighbormovement.com. And we love you guys. We out of here. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff, and tell your friends about the new Connected show. All right?
I'm connected.